Harry and Meghan torched what little was left of their relationship with the royal family and what little was left, frankly, of their own reputation.
There is a kind of Harry-shaped hole in the monarchy at this time when they're in such sort of belief.
Piers Morgan has just confirmed that his friendship with Princess Eugenie has single-handedly destroyed her relationship with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. And according to multiple royal insiders, Harry has now been completely cut off from every single member of his family. Every last one. This is not a slow drift. This is not a cooling off period. This is total catastrophic isolation. And it just got confirmed in the most devastating way possible. Harry did not find out his own father was hospitalized through a private phone call. He did not hear it from palace aides. He learned about King Charles being rushed to hospital for complications from his cancer treatment the same way you and I did, through public news reports. Not because the palace forgot, because, according to sources close to Buckingham Palace, they could not trust him not to leak it. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you're going to understand exactly why this marriage, this entire operation, is now sitting in what insiders are calling the celebrity death pool. Let me lay the foundation here, because the timeline matters. Back in April, reports first surfaced that Piers Morgan's growing connection with Princess Eugenie was creating friction with the Sussexes. At the time, a lot of people dismissed it. A friendship causing a royal rift seemed like tabloid noise, but Piers Morgan himself has now stepped forward and confirmed it. Eugenie, who had been quietly serving as the last remaining bridge between Buckingham Palace and Montecito, has been effectively frozen out by Harry and Meghan because she dared to have a drink with someone they disapprove of. That is how thin-skinned this has become. Eugenie was spotted socializing in London with Morgan and his wife, Celia Walden, the Daily Telegraph columnist, along with a group of well-known figures. A simple goodbye, a casual public moment, and it detonated the last functioning line of communication between Harry and the entire royal family. Maureen Callahan from the Daily Mail has now gone on record with a bold prediction. This marriage may not survive past 2025 or 2026. Royal expert Angela Levin, who initially believed the timeline would stretch longer, is now admitting that things are accelerating faster than anyone anticipated. And here is the detail that makes all of this feel forensic rather than speculative. The palace reportedly did not inform Harry about his father's hospitalization because there were genuine concerns that sensitive medical information would immediately surface in American media. Think about that for a second. A son, a prince, excluded from his own father's health crisis because the institution he was born into no longer trusts him with private information. That is not distance. That is a wall. But it does not stop there. What makes this entire situation feel even more calculated is what Meghan has been doing while all of this unfolds. King Charles is in the fight of his life. Prince William, according to Jason Knauf, just endured the worst year of his life. And Meghan is launching podcast number 2, which by all available metrics almost nobody is asking for. She is prepping jams and preserves for sale at Netflix retail spaces in a couple of malls across the entire country. She is recycling her 8-year-old wedding makeup on her website, complete with affiliate links so she can collect a cut from every click. That is where her attention is directed while her husband's family is in crisis. The contrast is not just dramatic, it is clinical. And here is what most people are not talking about. Multiple observers, including Angela Levin, now believe Meghan is deliberately waiting. The theory being discussed is that she will not make any major personal move until every single one of her projects is fully operational. The cooking content, the lifestyle brand, the Netflix partnerships. Harry in this framework still serves a purpose. He shows up for brief appearances, praises her on camera, adds a familiar royal face to the content. Audiences, according to insiders, are consistently more drawn to Harry than to Meghan in these moments, and that dynamic alone explains why this connection has not been severed yet. But the signs of strain are becoming impossible to ignore. Harry reportedly looks increasingly pressured, and that shift could change everything fast. And here's where things get really interesting. Eugenie was not just some distant cousin making polite small talk at Christmas. She was described as a deeply caring person who actively worked to mend arguments and keep communication alive between both sides. She felt genuinely for Harry and Meghan. She tried repeatedly to be the peacemaker, but here's the reality. Eugenie is now a mother of 2. She has her own life, her own career, her own social world. She and Princess Beatrice move in circles where people like Piers Morgan and Jeremy Clarkson are simply part of the environment. Even Queen Camilla attended a lunch at Fortnum and Mason alongside Morgan and Clarkson, sending a crystal clear message that she will not be adjusting her personal choices based on pressure from Montecito. When you put all of this together, a pattern starts to emerge. Anyone who does not fall in line with Meghan's expectations eventually finds themselves pushed out. The defector list is growing. Eugenie tried to stay neutral and got cut off. Staff members who once worked closely with the couple have departed under controversial circumstances. Even the Sussex's own charity, Centibale, is now engulfed in scandal. Which brings us to the most explosive piece of this entire story. The Centibale situation has deteriorated overnight. Harry is reportedly stunned by what is happening to the organization he helped create as a teenager. Alex Reiner, an old-school friend of Harry who joined him on a major expedition years ago, has now spoken publicly to the Daily Mail, claiming to represent Harry's perspective. And instead of calming the situation, his comments poured fuel directly onto the fire. He suggested that criticism of Harry was driven by jealousy, a defense mechanism that has been deployed so many times now that people are openly mocking it. Meanwhile, footage from a Centibale event has been circulating showing Meghan warmly greeting a close friend while appearing to walk directly past Dr. Sophie Chandoka without acknowledgement. Dr. Chandoka, widely respected for her professional accomplishments, was reportedly positioned awkwardly during the event in a way that drew immediate attention. That footage has been picked apart frame by frame, and the reaction has been brutal. Dr. Chandoka has reportedly made it clear she had no intention of stepping into a media narrative to defend Meghan's public image. Let that sink in. Someone who was there, who experienced the moment firsthand, apparently refused to smooth things over for the cameras. And the response from the Sussex camp, according to reports, was a strongly worded message sent to the charity's leadership. The pattern here is not subtle, it is documented, it is repeated, and it is becoming impossible for even sympathetic observers to explain away. Harry's world is shrinking in real time. No contact with the royal family. Eugenie gone. Longtime friendships fraying. A charity in crisis. Reports that he had not visited Centibale's work on the ground for several years. His wife building a separate brand empire while his father battles cancer and his brother endures personal devastation. The emotional toll of that isolation, especially for someone who has spoken publicly about his own mental health struggles, cannot be overstated. The question people are now openly asking is whether Harry even has anyone left to turn to, or whether every remaining relationship has been strategically managed into silence. We are watching something historic unfold. Not a royal family drama that resolves itself over afternoon tea, but a permanent fracture that may define this monarchy for a generation. Maureen Callahan says 2025 or 2026. Angela Levin now agrees it is accelerating. And the one thing keeping this marriage functioning, Harry's usefulness to Meghan's brand, has a shelf life that is running out faster than anyone predicted. The moment those projects are self-sustaining, the moment his face stops moving the needle, the calculus changes entirely. And with 2 children in the middle of all of it, Harry faces the most impossible decision of his life. Stay in a situation that is visibly consuming him, or walk away and risk losing proximity to the people he loves most. The silence from Buckingham Palace is not confusion. It is strategy. They have seen enough, heard enough, and leaked enough to know exactly where this is headed. The only question left is how loud the landing will be.